Hey, good morning everybody. This is Ronnie Frey and I am your Legacy Life Partner. And I just want to say thank God it's Monday. It's a new day, it's a new week, and I'm looking for new opportunities. I feel really great already. I got up this morning and I walked for 3 miles, power walked. And I used my reverse skincare regimen to get rid of all the sun damage from summer and even out my complexion, and I love it. Having great skin makes me feel so confident. So here I am with a question. How much complaining do you do every day? And I'm not just talking about out loud complaining, but I also want you to ask yourself, how much complaining do you do in your head? So I want to challenge you to monitor how many times you complain every day. I have been working at eliminating complaining from my life, and it's making a huge difference. And here's my word again: you can decide not to be a complainer. So I have a story for you. Over Labor Day weekend, I ride my bike. As you guys know, I ride my bike a lot. I rode about 1,000 miles this summer, just in the city of Chicago. And a lot of the quote pictures when I do my quotes and the footage that I use in my videos comes from those trips around the city on my bike. So I was on my way home from work. There was a horse and carriage on the bike path. All right, and the first thing that happened was I just immediately became annoyed and irritated. And asked myself why there was a horse and carriage on the bike path. I had a lapse of judgment, basically. I started complaining in my mind. And if you think about it, why even make that statement? Because there is not one thing you can do to change it, right? So my only thought at that point was to get in front of that horse and carriage as quickly as possible. But it was 6:30 p.m. People were coming off the beach. They were walking on the side of the path that I would have passed the horse and carriage on. Going downhill, picking up speed, I just decided to move off to the right onto the grass and get around this thing. And when I went to get back up onto the bike path, the lip of the concrete just flipped me right over onto the path. And yeah, I had like about 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks of extreme pain, scrapes, bruises, just not cute, right? But you know what? I could have been saying in my head, oh, that stupid horse and carriage, or be blaming that, but it was 100% my fault. Right? I have been doing some reading and some researching, and research shows that exposure to 30 minutes or more of negativity, even like viewing negative things on TV, actually peels away neurons in your brain's hippocampus. You want to know what that is? Hippocampus is the part of your brain that you need for problem solving. And basically, watching negative stuff turns your brain to mush. The culprit is a stress hormone called cortisol. And when you're negative, you release it. And elevated levels of this stuff, it interferes with things like learning, memory. It lowers your immune function and your bone density. It can increase weight gain, blood pressure, cholesterol, heart disease, and that list just goes on and on. So I want to tell you about something else I learned, which is really, really cool. Throughout your brain, there's a collection of synapses. They're called synapses. They're separated by empty space called the synaptic cleft. And whenever you have a thought, one synapsis shoots a chemical across this cleft to another one. And they build a bridge, so to speak, over which an electric signal can cross. And that carries along its charge the relevant information that you're thinking about. So here's the kicker. Every time this electrical charge is triggered, the synapses grow closer together, and this decreases the distance of the electrical charge that the electrical charge has to cross. Your brain is rewiring its own circuitry, and it's physically changing itself to make it easier and more likely that the proper synapses will share this chemical link, and then they spark together. And in essence, it makes it easier for the thought to trigger. So let's boil that down. Having a thought makes it easier for you to have that thought again. That's not good news for someone that's always gloomy. But also, on the contrary, it seems that gratitude can work in the opposite way and build up your positive muscles. But this gets worse, all right? Not only do repeated negative thoughts make it easier to think yet more negative thoughts, but they also make it more likely, are you ready for this? They make it more likely that negative thoughts will occur to you just randomly walking down the street. That is crazy, right? So kind of another way to put this is that being consistently negative starts to push your personality towards the negative. Complaining equals miserableness, and that breeds negativity. Thanks, Siren. But I understand that some situations require a complaint. But if you're going to complain, you need to start every word with the sentence I feel this way. I want to tell you what happened. I want to give you a suggestion if you'd like to hear it. You shouldn't complain without being a part of the solution and having a solution or an option for a solution to give the person. And ask yourself, what is the goal of the complaint? And you can even ask God for wisdom. In the first chapter of James, he tells us that God gives wisdom to anyone that asks. That's really cool. So focus on solutions, not the problem. When you put your mind towards coming up with a solution, you've already started to turn things around and you're not concentrating and focusing on what's wrong anymore. So are you still complaining in your head? It's a decision and you have to decide not to be in complaining mode. It's a conditioning of the mind. And if you think about this, if you're always trying to come up with a solution while you're registering a complaint, you're conditioning your mind to think about solution-based things instead of problem-based things. So I read this somewhere recently. Commit to talking 20% about the problem and 80% about the solution, and pretty soon you won't 100% want to talk about it. So there's really only two directions you can go in. You're either whining about a problem or you're working on a solution. So if this has helped you, please comment below. And if you think this could help somebody else, please share it with them. And if you haven't already, head over to my Facebook page called Legacy Life Partners and click like there so you can see my posts. So have a great day, everyone, and here's to living the legacy life.